Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Parkside Cabin Rentals. No matter the season, one of the nation's top vacation destinations is right here in East Tennessee, right in our own backyard. If you're going to take advantage of the Great Smoky Mountains, stay in the best place for you. The way you do that, you book a cabin of your choice through ParksideCabinRentals.com. Hotels, the rooms are just, they're the rooms. Everybody gets the same thing. Parkside Cabin Rentals, you don't have to deal with the people next door. You can figure out what the layout of the rooms are going to be, how many rooms you need, how many beds you need. Do you want a hot tub? Do you want a pool table? What kind of entertainment system do you want in the place? You can find all that at ParksideCabinRentals.com. Just go cabin by cabin through all of their layouts. There's no better place to stay if you get into the Smoky Mountains than Parkside Cabin Rentals. Check them out online. Okay, there's trouble in paradise. Tennessee opened 31-1. 31-1 is how they opened up. Then they lost to Tennessee Tech and those darned wooden bats. And they're just 11-5 since. 11-5 since then, and they have lost 3 of their last 6 games, including their first series of the year this week to Kentucky. It's just falling apart. But I'm sure Vince Ferrara, Vol broadcaster, won't allow me to hit the panic button. So I was texting with him last night. So many people are worried about the bats. And a lot of people focus on the fact that, well, it's ever since you went to those wooden bats, 11-5 after that Tennessee Tech game. But Vince, you found some numbers, and we'll put them up on the screen right now. You found some numbers with the pitching that stood out to you, not the hitting.
Well, as dominant as the starting pitchers were to begin the year, it was incredible how good they were in the first 16 games. 11 of those starts, their starters went 6 innings or more, and one of them was the Chase Dolander game where he was knocked out in the first inning, so you can even toss that. 13-1 with 2 no decisions in your first 16 starts, and since then the starters have not gone as deep in the ball games as you can see there, just 4 innings. I think the numbers aren't terrible now, but it was on such a high level before that it's dropped off for sure.
Well, I mean, innings pitched down, hits per game up, runs and earned runs up just a tad, so that's important. But walks up, strikeouts down, it's just what you don't want.
And I think there's a couple of reasons for it. One is Tony Vitello and Frank Anderson have a better understanding of the bullpen guys that they can trust. And honestly, early in the year, because the starters are so good, a lot of guys that weren't pitching and weren't getting opportunities. So they're more willing, if one of their starters is getting into early trouble, they're more willing to go to the pen early and give the other guys they trust an opportunity. Another factor is because of the offense, which is what a lot of people are complaining about, and it is a factor, they're in closer ball games now. So now you got to manage games a little bit different. You don't have that cushion that you did before when you're clubbing people 8-1 at the time. So because of those tougher, higher stress situations, Tony Vitello, Frank Anderson are going to the bench early and not keeping guys in as many tough situations. So the hitting is connected to it, but I think the starters having a little bit of a dip is a factor.
All right.
One thing skewed by the starting is that Blade Tidwell took over for Dolander, right?
Yeah.
So Tidwell was on a short leash, and so that skewed some of the innings pitched. I also think that 2 of the freshmen may have hit a little bit of a freshman wall. You start your Friday and your Sunday starters are freshmen, and they're not going as deep into the games as they did before.
Tidwell's a good point in his first start, and he was magnificent. He went 4 2/3. He and Camden Sewell finished off that Florida game, and they were great. So, yes, I get it there, but they were supposed to build him up after that, and he went shorter those next 2 outings. So I'm not saying it's panic, but I think that they haven't been as sharp, and they've been quicker to go to their pen, and a lot of those guys, for the most part, have done great out of the pen.
Very quickly, the next SEC series, they got a midweek game with was it Bellarmine?
Bellarmine, yeah.
Bellarmine?
Yeah.
And they're located where? I had never heard of Bellarmine, I'd be honest with you.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, that's right.
Louisville,
Louisville,
that's right. I
Kentucky.
looked it up. Okay, yeah.
We were corrected too, so I'm.
Anyway, so you got the midweek game, and then you've got the series next week against Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia is 6.5 games back right now, but if the magic number is 1, so if they win today, they still have hope in the East, but it's not real hope. If they lose today, it's over. Tennessee's already got the East, correct?
Yeah, and the magic number for the league is 3. So they could win the entire league next weekend. But Georgia will be tough. They'll be up there with Auburn, perhaps as the best team that Tennessee has played this year. Georgia was supposed to have a much better pitching staff. Their ERA is like 5.5, but they can really hit. And so their hitting is better than they're supposed to. Their pitching is not as good, but so it could be pretty wild, especially depending on where the wind's blowing at Lindsey Nelson next weekend.
All right, very good. Let's talk about pretty wild, and that is the landscape across college sports. I was out of town this week, and I was basically just reading news on my phone all week, and I said, well, we're just going to have to tackle 500 of these topics in the show because all of these impact Tennessee. So what we're going to look at is all these things that happened this week, and if you aren't paying attention, we'll break it down for you as best we can, and we'll try and take it from a UT and SEC perspective because all this stuff has an impact on Tennessee. We'll tell you how. Next on the Sports Source.